Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
I talk, you listen, or you turn the channel. Either way, I'm still gonna talk.
I'm still talking.
Welcome to Still Talking. I'm Rick Blood here in the secret Fact TV underground bunker here in Keene, New Hampshire. Back at it again. Like the title implies, still talking. I gotta tell you, before we get started with anything, I was down here crawling around the bunker. That crate back there, that's left over from Cheshire TV. Yeah, it's got a bunch of the old politicians that we used to use at city council meetings. Yeah, man, brought back some memories right there. Look, the writer's strike is over, so I can write on my cards again. So, not that I was on strike, but I don't like to write a lot. What are we gonna start with today? A lot of stuff. The stuff swirls through my mind. And I noticed watching last week's episode, because I watch myself and to try and figure out what I can do better, how I can make your life less easy. And I noticed that I tend to fly off in different directions sometimes. I noticed that. I'll try not to do that so much, but it's because everything is like connected. And if you look at life that way, everything affects everything else. Every single one of your decisions is your decision. You make it in the moment. And the thought processes that go into your decisions you get those from your life experiences, the way you were raised, the place you were raised, all of everything leading up to a point of a decision affects what decision you make. It's weird, huh? Because if you think about it, think of one thing in your life that if you had done different, your entire life now would be completely different. Yeah, it's weird to think about, but, you know, it's basically a miracle that we're here and that we have consciousness. Not like the consciousness of an animal whose entire life is feeding, procreating, feeding, sleeping, you know, your basic animal instincts and survival. We've still got all that stuff, but we've also got consciousness, free will. You can do whatever you want. So it's equality. That's the equality that we talk about. Is the fact that we all have free will. We can do whatever we want. But there are consequences for actions. So you've got to take that into account. You know? I wrote equality on the top of my cheat sheet here today, mulling over stuff that I could talk about. And we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Some people think that's a sexist line because it says all men. But here's where you might learn something, maybe. It's something to think about anyway. when the founders said men, they were possibly referring to human. Human, man, woman. It's all part of that same group. So if you just make it simple and say all men, you know, it's shorter than all humans. I mean, you got to figure drawing an H back then in the 1700s was a pretty intense, fancy thing, you know? So maybe that's what they meant. Another kind of thinking that people have is that in that short phrase, all men are created equal, they think that equal is the key word. But it's not. It's the phrase created equal. There are 2 times in life when we are all exactly equal. When we're born and when we die. Those are the only 2 times that humans are equal to each other. Everything that's in between there, and you know, I can't remember if it was a song or if it was somebody talking, but they were talking about the 2 dates on your headstone and the dash in the middle. And it turns out that the 2 dates on either side are half as important as the dash in the middle. Because it's your life. And again, I just said, we all have free will. God's mistake, maybe. I don't know. But, see, again, it's a good thing to have free will. But again, if you're using free will to do stupid, horrendous things, then maybe free will is not such a good thing. So, again, I'm hoping to make you folks think about this. Because we're all equal when we're born. When you want to talk equity and equal outcomes, it will never happen. When they talk about equity, everything seems to go down for equity. Why doesn't it go up? If there's true equity, how come we all can't be Bill Gates? Or Neil deGrasse Tyson? Or maybe in my case, Regis Philbin? You know, except for not dead. No, that was one of my dreams. When I started Unfiltered way back in the day, and my hair wasn't quite this color. It was a little bit darker and a lot longer. I wanted to have a show like Regis and Kelly. I even got a great girl, Alethea Glimanakis, from the Athens Pizza Glimanakis. And she came on, I don't know, I think we did 11 or 12 episodes where she came on and co-hosted with me. A fantastic time. Sorry, again, flew off the edge there, sorry. The equity thing. It's never going to happen. You're never going to get equal outcomes because you don't have equal incomes. Is that the right word? I don't know. Maybe. But people don't put in the same amount of effort into life as other people do. And people that put more effort into life, in my opinion, should have more. Maybe it's just me. Or do you feel like that too? It's crazy. But if you think about it like that, yes, People that put more into life should get more out of life. If you're just gonna lay on the couch, with a bag of Fritos or Doritos or any kind of chips stuff in your face, playing video games all the time, well then, you're probably not gonna end up as well off as somebody that goes out, learns a trade or learns a skill or an occupation and goes into that occupation and makes good money. And why should that guy that lays on the couch eating Cheetos make the same damn money that the other guy makes? On the other hand, again, I like to think all the way around stuff. The highest paid job in a hospital is usually what? The doctors, right? The surgeons, the friggin' smart people that, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on an education that they're whining about paying back now. Those are the highest paid people in the hospital. Well, other than maybe the board of director guys, because, they're getting their chunk, right? Who is the lowest paid guy? Probably the guy that cleans up, right? The janitor. Right? You got to admit, he's probably the lowest paid guy, or the guy that does the laundry or whatever. So, which job do you think is more important? The doctor? Ooh, very important job, saving lives. The janitor? If it weren't for him, the doctor would be working in filth and would not be saving lives. See? So why doesn't a janitor who cleans up the place make the same amount as the doctor? He's just as important. So that's all I'm saying. And maybe that's equality. But it's not equity, because the doctor's not going to give up his boat so the janitor can have one. It's sad. Because again, in the equity field, you do have people that are hungry and they're willing to work and they want a lot of money. But who doesn't? Then again, some things you just have to enjoy. Like this. I could be doing something else, like sitting home taking care of my mom right now, but I love doing this. So I come in here every week. Whether anybody watches or not, I don't care. It's not really about you. This is my opinion. And I'm just letting it out, baby. Because that's what you got to do. And you laugh about life. You have to laugh about life. Which is why, number 2 down here, look at that, a smooth transition. Public access. Fact TV. Formerly known as Cheshire TV. Hostily taken over by Cheshire TV, by Fact TV now. Not really. It wasn't a hostile takeover. The hostile takeover was when the government shut us down. Yeah, my sister kept telling me, don't do anything political. But hey, that's what happened. The government shut Cheshire TV down. Fact TV was nice enough to split their operation in Bellows Falls, come here to Keene, so that, guys like me could sit here and talk for half an hour, 90 minutes. Come in and talk for 2 hours. They'd love it. They're very short on programming right now. They're trying to fill out a schedule. But they'll get there. It took Cheshire TV a while too. And the advantage they have is they've got people making content over in Vermont, in the Bellows Falls area, as well as people making content here. So it kind of, stretches out that public access universe. And, it's fun. You can get as involved as you want. I came in, half an hour early. I was poking around down here in the bunker, looking around at stuff, helping Josh get set up for the show, getting everything just right. And because I like doing that. And I realized while I was doing that I miss doing that for a job. But again, it's one of those things that happens in life. It's not fair. It's not equitable. Equitable. The word of the day. Everybody gets the same thing. So let's all be rich and famous. We might as well. Instead of all being stupid and poor. There's the true equity. When everybody is stupid and poor, we'll all be equal again. But that's not the way life is. Where do I want to go? Let's go here. Because this kind of runs into the whole kind of crazy mess that the world's in. This shoplifting craze. When gangs of people storm a store and run out with everything. That's another thing that, growing up in the late 60s and 70s, through the 70s, we didn't deal with all that stuff. That didn't happen. And now it does. And it's a huge, great thing. It's, social activism, whatever, run in and take what you can take. That's pirating. It sounds like the old pirates or the old West or something. And that's not what we're about, What shoplifting does hurt is revenue for the stores. That revenue includes, raises that it could give its employees, as well as, shareholders of the big corporation stores. But let's just talk mom and pop stores. Mom and pop stores were getting looted just like the rest. And it's not good for the community, because what happens? Eventually, the store's not going to have enough money to operate. They're going to close the doors, and then you've got no store. And then what are you going to do? You're going to walk 2 miles down the road to the next store, which has been looted 15 times, and they're on the verge of closing, so they've only got 4 things on the shelf, and the prices are jacked up because it's a closing sale. When we do this, we pay the costs. Well, what I should say is, when some do this, we all pay the cost. Yeah. And I get it, the kids are rowdy and rambunctious and stuff like that. Well, go, take a vacation, go run around in the woods or something. Don't run roughshod through the streets of your hometown where you live. Go out and do something constructive. Maybe instead of vandalizing one of those stores, you go down there and you offer to paint a nice graffiti thing on the side, a big piece of beautiful artwork. Do something good. Again, decision making, free will. We always have the free will to do something good over doing something bad. I'm telling you, just one damn event that you change in your life could affect things 10, 15 years down the road. I know. I look back at a lot of things starting out that, I was young and stupid, and then middle-aged and stupid. And finally I got it. But yeah, you got to stop being stupid. You got to make the right decisions at the right time. And the rest of the time, you just try and enjoy life. That's what it's all about. And if enjoying life means working extra hard, sure, work extra hard. That's one of the things that I keep hearing about the whole, we don't have time today, but I'll get into the whole immigration thing and the 6 million people streaming across the border in 2.5 years. We'll get into that later. But something that is often referred to when they're talking about that is that we want this because low wage workers. Think about that phrase for a minute. Low wage workers. We're afraid that these illegal immigrants are going to what? Work for less than minimum wage? That's against the law. If you have a minimum wage, then immigrants can't work for less than that. The same way that nobody else legally can do that. I mean, if a guy flipping a burger in Los Angeles is paid $20 an hour, I would assume that McDonald's has to pay an illegal immigrant $20 an hour as well. After all, are you ready? It's equity. See where it all comes around? Everything is connected. The whole minimum wage thing bothers me anyway. Because, I mean, basically, if you go to work for somebody, it's almost like you form a contract with them. You know, you get hired at a place. You go through your interview, you know, all that. You sell yourself to them. You tell them, you know, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, you know, all that important stuff that people want to know before you get a job at a place. And then the company either says, sure, you're hired, or they say, sorry, we're not going to hire you, we're going to hire somebody else. Shouldn't it be, you know, isn't half of that decision yours? I mean, when you go in for your interview, the company interviews you, but do you interview the company? To say, you know, is this a good place for me? Maybe it's not a good place for me. But it's best to know when the guy says, you know, sure, we'd like to hire you, you say, no, I'm sorry, but well, I'm not going to take your job because who cares what you tell them? Just, you know, tell them you're not going to work there. If you feel that it's not the best position for you. See, that's the thing. Employment, if you're tired of your job, find another job. It's easy. You go out, I mean, if you're working in a machine shop, running a drill press, but, you know, you hate that, but you like doing something else, you like working with people, maybe you like numbers and you know, you're the type of person that could handle running a cash register or something, maybe you'd rather do that. Well, go out and get a different job. You don't stay at a job that you hate just because it pays good. That's the secret, people. Enjoy what you do. Or don't do it. Why would you do something day after day after day that you don't like? Only because it's a paycheck. Find something you like and go and do that for a job. But that's the hardest part. That was always my hardest part because it seems over my life I've wanted to do a lot of things. And I would start doing something and realize, yeah, you know, I can't do this the rest of my life. So I find something else to do. And nah, you know, this one sucks. You know, sometimes you got to face it. And you just go until you reach what you want to reach. Again, the whole equity thing and the free will and every person can do amazing things if they just focus on doing them, creating a plan, following the plan. It's one of the things that education could play a huge part in. And here in Keene, the SAU 29 just had, and of course I didn't know about it until way too late. And I don't have kids in school right now anyway, or grandkids in school yet. But they had a survey about what do you think kids should know when they graduate high school. Oh, I've got a lot of ideas. You know, maybe they should know how to cook for themselves. Maybe they should know personal finances, how to balance a checkbook. Maybe they should know how to make change for $1. Maybe they should know how to tie their shoes, or you know, all kinds of different things. How about how to sew? Yep, in high school I learned how to sew, which came in handy in the Navy, and to this day, because if I get a rip in my pants, I can sew it up. I don't just have to throw them away. I know how to work a needle and thread. Although the eyesight's getting a little iffy when I try and put the thread through the needle. I need a needle with a big hole. Because I get right up here, I get out here, I get out there, I can't tell. But anyway, yeah, that's, again, it's simple life lessons and being able to just look at everything. Everything's connected. Every decision is connected to every past decision and every future decision. Remember that. So, what else is here on my list that I can get to like real quick? I could mention this because I was talking about shoplifting. In 2022, retail businesses lost $112 billion due to shoplifting. Again, that $112 billion could have gone to, pay employees better, or make the stores nicer, or any kind of anything. So, my time's running down here. I snuck a little extra time on the clock. I think last week Josh told me 27 minutes, but I noticed I finished the show a little bit, like 27 after 7. Hey, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. That's when the new episodes air on Spectrum Channel 1301, formerly Cheshire TV, now Fact TV. So, until next time, I'm Rick Blood, still talking. Peace.